The American music industry, a force that shaped global culture from jazz to hip-hop, rock to pop. It's a vibrant tapestry of sounds and styles that have influenced generations and transcended borders. But behind the scenes, it's a world full of innovation, reinvention, and sometimes controversy. The magic we hear is often the result of countless hours of hard work, creativity, and sometimes heated debates. How did the American music industry become what it is today, and where could it be headed? The journey is as fascinating as the music itself, filled with groundbreaking moments and visionary artists who dared to dream big. Let's rewind. The American music industry traces its origins back to the early 20th century, where music recording was just beginning to take shape. In those days, the technology was rudimentary, but the passion for music was already immense. Jazz was exploding in New Orleans, and radio stations started bringing music into homes all across America. This was a time of great cultural exchange where different musical traditions began to blend and create new sounds. But it wasn't until the 1920s that the industry truly began to flourish, thanks to the invention of the phonograph. The phonograph changed everything. It allowed music to be recorded and played back, making it accessible to a wider audience than ever before. Suddenly, people could buy music to play at home, and artists could reach audiences they'd never seen before. This was the beginning of a new era, where music became a part of everyday life, and the seeds of the modern music industry were sown. Concerts and live performances also started to gain popularity, bringing people together to experience the magic of music in person. These events were more than just entertainment. They were cultural milestones that shaped the social fabric of the time. Over the decades, the way we consume music has continued to evolve. From vinyl records to cassette tapes, CDs, and now digital streaming, each new format has brought its own revolution, changing how we interact with music and how artists share their work. Today, music festivals and streaming platforms have become the new arenas for musical discovery and enjoyment. They offer a space where diverse genres and cultures can come together, reflecting the ever-changing landscape of the American music industry. As we look to the future, the possibilities seem endless. With advancements in technology and a global audience at their fingertips, artists have more tools and opportunities than ever to create and share their music. The American music industry continues to be a dynamic and influential force, shaping the sounds of tomorrow. Then came the record labels, a transformative force in the music industry. In the 1930s and 40s, companies like Columbia, RCA, and Capitol Records took over the music scene. These companies were not just businesses, they were cultural institutions that shaped the soundscape of an era. Record labels became the powerhouses of the industry, controlling everything from production to distribution. They managed the entire life cycle of a record, from the initial recording sessions to the final product hitting the shelves. This control allowed them to influence not just what music was made, but how it was marketed and consumed. They scouted new talent, often traveling far and wide to discover the next big star. These talent scouts were the gatekeepers of the industry, deciding which records got made and which artists got a chance to shine. Their decisions often shaped the musical tastes of the public. Artists and labels had a close but often complicated relationship. While labels provided the resources and platform for artists to reach a wider audience, they also imposed strict controls over the creative process. This dynamic led to both groundbreaking collaborations and significant tensions. While labels gave artists a platform, they also controlled royalties and held the rights to the music, a topic that remains controversial to this day. Many artists felt they were not fairly compensated for their work, leading to disputes and protests. The legacy of these early record labels is a complex one, marked by both incredible innovation and ongoing debates about artistic control and fair compensation. By the 1950s, the music industry was about to get rocked, literally. Rock and roll burst onto the scene, led by icons like Elvis Presley, Chuck Berry, and Buddy Holly. This wasn't just a new genre, it was a cultural revolution. The youth had a voice, and the music industry listened. Radio stations dedicated to rock popped up, record sales skyrocketed, and America was officially obsessed with rock. But this was only the beginning. The 1980s and 90s brought more change. Cassette tapes and then CDs took over, with record labels making billions. But by the early 2000s, digital music changed the game. Platforms like Napster, iTunes, and eventually Spotify reshaped how we access music. For the first time, people could download single tracks instead of buying entire albums, and streaming would soon follow. The industry had to adapt fast or risk being left behind. Chapter 4: The Age of Streaming. Enter the streaming era. In 2008, Spotify was launched, followed by platforms like Apple Music, Tidal, and more. Today, streaming services dominate. Fans can access millions of songs instantly, and the music industry has had to reinvent itself once again. Streaming now makes up more than 80% of the industry's revenue. But while fans benefit, some artists feel left behind, struggling with low payout rates and less control over their work. Chapter 5: Social Media and Music Discovery. In recent years, social media has changed everything. Platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram have revolutionized the way we discover and consume music. These platforms have become the new stage for artists to showcase their talent and reach a global audience. With just a smartphone and an internet connection, new artists can now be discovered without the need for traditional record labels. This democratization of music discovery has opened doors for countless musicians who might have otherwise remained unheard. Songs can go viral in a matter of hours, thanks to the power of social media algorithms and user engagement. A catchy tune or a creative music video can spread like wildfire, reaching millions of listeners almost instantly. Artists like Lil Nas X have harnessed the power of social media to catapult themselves to stardom. His hit song, Old Town Road, became a cultural phenomenon, largely due to its popularity on TikTok. Similarly, Doja Cat found fame through her viral hits and engaging social media presence. Her ability to connect with fans online has played a significant role in her success. By bypassing the traditional industry gatekeepers, these artists have shown that success is no longer solely determined by record labels and radio play. Social media has leveled the playing field, allowing indie musicians to promote their music and build a dedicated fan base. Now, artists have more control over their image, music, and revenue streams. They can manage their own social media accounts, set up home studios, and sell music and merchandise directly to their fans. But with so many platforms to manage, it's a constant battle to stay relevant. Musicians must continuously create engaging content, interact with their audience, and adapt to the ever-changing landscape of social media. The pressure to maintain an online presence can be overwhelming, but for many artists, it's a small price to pay for the opportunity to share their music with the world. Chapter 6: The Future of the Industry. So, what's next? Artificial intelligence is now making its way into music production, creating everything from background beats to entire songs. Virtual concerts are gaining popularity, and digital avatars are performing live. Yes, you heard that right. Some say we're heading into a world where anyone can create music without traditional talent or equipment. Others argue that AI could enhance creativity. Either way, the music industry as we know it is evolving and fast. From jazz in New Orleans to virtual concerts in the metaverse, the American music industry has come a long way. It's an industry that reinvents itself time and time again, influenced by technology, social change, and most importantly, the power of the fans. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know what's your favorite era of American music, and where do you see the industry heading next?